everybody. Hello,
Hi, everyone.
Chris. Welcome to DUO-LOGUE episode 6. Today's topic is a bit different than other topics. Well, they're all different, but this one is more self-reflective. What happened to me a few days ago. You probably don't know this, but I have been given a pile of old vinyls from Chris's collection, well, his mom's collection, and they needed sifting through and deciding whether to sell some of them because they have some intrinsic value, or take them to the music vinyl shop and or donate them to the charity shop. So they needed some work to be done.
Sifting and sorting.
Sifting and sorting. And they were, first of all, they needed a lot of cleaning because they were in those very nice cases stuck up in the attic for decades. They were covered in dust.
Decades in my mum's attic loft and 7 years in my flat.
Yeah, so they were definitely overdue to be shown some TLC. So I'm sitting there in my living room surrounded by these vinyls, and I'm deciding whether I want to be selling these or whether they have any value at all. For somebody who has no idea about vinyls, apart from a little memory from my childhood when my dad used to play vinyls and we had the turntable turned on on certain occasions, and we were all dancing, singing, and it was very pleasant. This is all my experience of vinyls. I know how to use them, but I just hadn't had any chance to have any vinyls played around for 40 odd years in my life. And there I have this big pile of vinyls. Some of them the Beatles, Whitney Houston first album, and so obviously I'm thinking maybe these are going to be worth something. So it took some investigation, it took some research. So I'm checking eBay, I learned about Discogs. This is a website where you can see what the value of vinyls is and whether they were first pressings, second pressings, reissues, etc. I learned all of these things. And in the process, I'm getting more and more overwhelmed and confused. What shall I do with this vinyl? What shall I do with this vinyl? Shall I put them together and sell them as a bundle? Shall I put 6 or 7 of them and put them and make them a bundle and sell them like that? Do I sell them? Do I donate them? Do I take them to the charity shop? What do I do? And today I'm deciding, like, at this time of the day, for example, I'm deciding this is what I'm going to do. And about half an hour later, I'm doubting that decision. And I'm now thinking, no, I'm going to do something else. And it kept changing for like 2 days. And I was getting more and more overwhelmed because first I didn't have the knowledge of what these vinyls are. I have no idea how to sell on eBay. I have no idea about vinyl's worth and value, so I was in a bit of a state.
This is very similar to when you're clearing a relative's house out who's recently died, and they've had all of the stuff in their loft that was part of their lives 40, 50, 60 years, 70 years even, and you just got to work out what to do with it because it can't stay there. It has to go somewhere. And it's the most, what do you do with it? Has it got any value? First of all, does anyone want it? Another thing, does it go to a record shop? Does it go on eBay? Does it go to a bookshop? Does it go to a charity shop? Does it, what the hell do you do with it? And every single thing in the loft needs these questions to be asked of it. Otherwise, you're not doing the due diligence. And it's a microcosm, even though it was part of that hoard, as a microcosm, what you were facing was exactly the same. All right, they're all records, that's one thing, but there's 78s, there's 33s, 45s.
Yeah.
And most of them, you didn't buy them, so what are they? It's a huge...
Well, some of them I wasn't even born. Some of them I never knew they existed. I had never heard about these people, or like BBC shows from the 60s and as seen on TV, like who's seen it? Those people
No,
who have
but
seen it have already left this
just
world.
one example. There was one book in my mum's loft, and that book, there were three versions of it, three versions of the same book, all different. My nan bought it for my mum when she was a girl,
Right.
and then another person bought her the same book a bit later. You don't even know what you've got. And they were all way before my time because they were when my mum was a girl.
Yeah. So
Anyway,
what we're actually saying here, today's topic is what really is the matter. We are gradually getting to that. After all my research, and I had all these sticky notes stuck on the vinyls, like this sells on eBay for that much amount of money. It's free shipping, or the shipping is that much. And I had all these little sticky notes on all the vinyls. And it took me probably the good part of 2 days to clean them and to research them. And there come my immediate family, and they are saying, I'm wasting my time. I should just put them all together in a box, put them in the car, and take them to the vinyl shop because they are worth nothing. And I've spent enough time wasting my days. Instead of doing something more important, I'm wasting my time with this worthless activity. And so I start doubting my decisions even more. And this is where the topic really will start to make sense. So, what really is the matter? Why was I getting into so much overwhelm, confusion, couldn't sleep
because
over vinyls?
the vinyls, all they were was a focus on the real problem.
The vinyls were there to flash a light, to make me stop and assess. I realized that it's because I couldn't make the decision. I couldn't decide to what I'm going to do with them and then stick to that decision
without being influenced. Have confidence in what
Yeah.
you decided.
It seemed like in my case, it was a situation where I can't decide I can't stick to my decision because I doubt it, because I'm not sure that my decision is right, because obviously I don't know anything about vinyls. And even when I don't know anything about vinyls, because I'm sure not everybody does, there's a rare number of people who have any knowledge on this subject, but it's about anything else as well in life, making a decision and sticking to it because you know that this is what you want. And so not respecting my own decisions and not knowing how to stick to them and defend them. Now look, I'm even wanting to defend my decisions as if they're not worthy on their own selves. They need defending. The words that I'm using are still showing that there's something going on in my head about my decisions.
Maybe it's that you made a decision, but the fact that you've got this perfectionist theory and you want to be the best to be, and yeah, who doesn't, right? But the best you can be, but the best of everyone. It's you want to be better than everyone else too. So
Well, there was also that I want to do it myself. Like I
yeah.
want to do the best thing ever, and I also want to do it myself
So
without
people will
anybody
say,
else's
"Oh, look,
help.
Desi's
So that
done this
people
all
can
on
say,
her
"Oh,
own."
amazing! You're so great! You're so amazing!
So
You're fantastic!"
how many different things are involved in this? Perfectionist thinking, wanting to be the best, comparing yourself to other people, wanting praise and wanting to be seen to be great and like really good and no comparable person or whatever. So there's all this going on because somebody dares to what, criticize or
And it's all come out of these
and,
vinyls. Can you
but
imagine?
it's like
But this is how it happens
it's an auto response.
yeah.
This is why people don't take criticism well, because they've got all this baggage which has been created in the background without their knowledge. Perfectionist theory was the setup was created when you were living at home with your parents who were teachers, wanted you to do the best, and you got in trouble if you weren't. So you had to be. All of that programming was implemented in those times when you were a little girl at school, and you're still doing it.
I'm still doing it. And it's causing me trouble, and it's time to let go of it.
The family contact was the catalyst for this particular one, because what happens is that you get angry, and then what happens is that you distance yourself from the person that has, because there's an animosity between you, because you don't understand each other. There's no understanding of
Yeah.
what you're doing and why you're doing it. There's criticism, doesn't respect my cleverness or what I'm doing. So there's this divide that's created as a result, which is really bad news because everyone's hurting and everyone's ego is not letting them sort it out.
Mhm.
Everybody has this. Every single person has this. I have it. Trying to suppress that ego is not easy because it's not about suppressing the ego. It's understanding it's got its place, but it's not here. This is the key, really. It's about self-love. It's like saying, I'm doing the best I can.
Mm.
I'm happy with
Yeah.
what I'm doing. I like what I'm doing. So consequently, I'm doing something that I think is valuable and has worth. And what if someone else doesn't say something? It really doesn't matter, does it? At the end of the day, I know I've done well and I've done my best, and that's all that matters. And if someone else benefits, then that's good.
This comes from the scarcity mindset that I also have, and lots of people will relate to that, is knowing that, okay, so not being taken as a fool. If I am giving away a vinyl that is worth, say, £100, and I'm just giving it for free, and somebody will think of me as, oh, she's so stupid. We got this vinyl off of her hands, and she gave it to me, and I'm gonna sell it on for £1,000. So,
Yeah, but the thing is,
so
right?
wanting to not be taken as a fool as well, and also not wanting to lose money.
But the answer to that is quite simple. If you were to sell an album that was in the loft for like 20 years and in my flat for 7, right, 27 years, to sell it for 10 quid, and then that person happy that that happened because he or she can take it to a place where they know that they can sell it for 100 or more. Who cares? Were you happy with £10? Yeah. Would you have liked 100? Yeah, but you're happy with 10 because that's what you didn't expect any more. You didn't expect £10. So are you happy with what you got? The answer is yes. Is someone else skill, capability, years of learning that enables them to get £100 for it? They got paid for doing all that learning. Is that
Yeah, but
also
then that comes back to me, meaning, oh, you're stupid, you're silly,
no?
you don't know better, blah, blah, blah. The
No.
criticism of the not being good enough.
You have to say to yourself, I'm happy with £10.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm happy with £10 and now I found out it's worth a lot more. I'm so gullible.
Yeah, that's right.
They got paid for their expertise, which is not what you've got because you don't want to be a record salesperson. Right? Like you want to do something else, and they haven't got the expertise for that. And maybe you can earn more money doing that. Just everybody's got their place. Questioning and comparing yourself with others and thinking you're a mug is just self sabotage.
Yeah, it is.
It's self
So
sabotage.
I was going round in circles for 2 days because of all of these ideas. And it wasn't just the one thing, oh, don't know what I'm doing, that's why I'm stuck. I didn't know what I was doing because of all of these other things. What really was the matter?
Ultimately, we've got all these records, which, to be honest, at the end of the day, will all be chucked in the bin if it was down to me, because I haven't got the time to deal with it. But what happened is that you've got more time than I have. You took it on, recognized that there was a need here and I couldn't do it myself. So you took on the job, and as your normal perfectionist and detail, you got right into it big time and finding out what websites can be sold on and all the different God, I would have never done all that because you have you're curious to the nth degree more than I am. And then what happened was a family member witnessed you spending all this time doing something which was considered a complete waste of time and a waste of your effort and a waste of your resources, and you're much better than that than chase wild goose chase chasing the finals that, to be honest, before their time, not even interested in them. So there you are, spending all your time, and they get angry. They get angry that you're being taken for a mug by me, sorting out my crap. Right? Valid response from their position, valid response. So you get conflicted. You've got me saying this, and you'll want to help out, and then you've got them saying you're wasting your time, you're an idiot over there, and then you don't. There's no wonder you're in this space, which is one of, oh, what am I going to do? It's like you've got conflicted by these two spirits. On the one hand, someone who's angry that you're wasting your time doing this and doing that, and then on the other hand, you who's wanting to do me a favour and help with packaging these things and getting rid of them. You're in between. Oh no, what am I going to do? The overwhelm is because actually you're emotionally connected to both spirits, and you don't want to disappoint either of them, and yet you want to solve both of their problems, but it's very difficult.
Well, they're incompatible. This is what I've been saying. That has seemed to create all these incompatible situations where there is no proper outcome. There's two fighting elements, and there's no medium.
But there is, because actually all you needed was something to share with the family, like what was going on with these vinyls and why it was worth salvaging them or doing something with them, and then understanding that actually you've got this problem from the other side, and that it's not plain sailing because it's going to take a little bit of nurturing. And then, well, what happened over the weekend was that miraculously you got the because I produced a turntable for my others as well. But for 6 or 7 years,
it wasn't working.
Sat on the side doing nothing because no one had a reason to do anything with it. And of course, now we have a reason, and you've got it, and it doesn't work. From my side, I'm saying, well, okay, we'll spend some time having a look at getting it working, and you spend some time, and with the help of a fellow friend,
ChatGPT.
yeah, got it working, and then
we got it working.
Then what
happened? So that's how the medium was found. The middle ground was found when the turntable started working and turning and playing, because it was turning before, but it wasn't. There wasn't a way to produce the sound out of it. So now we figured out. ChatGPT told us how to do it. We did it amazing. And now we spent like a half a day yesterday sitting around the turntable and recreating those memories that I have from my childhood when the turntable was it was an event in itself. It was a thing that you put the turntable on, you put the vinyl on, you adjust the treble and the bass and whatever. My dad's turntable was quite sophisticated in that respect, and then listen to the beautiful sound that comes out and maybe talk about things and look at the album cover and check out what the text is, because there was also a text explaining. And so the family sitting around this turntable, looking at it, looking at the vinyl turning and discussing these things, and then changing this vinyl and another vinyl and this song and that song. And it was such a beautiful experience. So the living room, from a place where I was being criticized for wasting my time, now all of a sudden becomes the music room where we have a beautiful sound coming out, and the turntable in the middle of the coffee table.
Yeah, so what happened in reality was the spirit that was angry with you wasting your time suddenly appreciated this, and it got turned into a positive experience of sorting out the vinyls. And hey, yeah, almost like we're helping a little bit, because we're actually enjoying this and sharing our views on these things. And that brings you back to the turntable and vinyls in general. In the day, instead of it's music, which has been relegated to a rather small snippet of enjoyment, which is coupled with other types of media on a phone through a listening device, which is poor, really, because like it wasn't the same. If you fill in a room with a vinyl experience, it's becoming almost like a live performance type of experience. Whereas on a phone, it's just, oh, here you go, have you heard this? Have you heard that? And it's coupled with other people talking and doing all sorts of other things. It's not really much of a sensation, and it really relegates the artist's work, which is unbelievable, into almost like not what it was intended. Whereas a vinyl record, with its size, folding out type of experience, gives you not only the album, but it's got all the different tracks and what's on the record at the back, and it's got maybe pictures of the artists, and it's got sometimes very, very detailed graphics and other things which complement what the artist was trying to say with the music. So it's a very much different experience. And maybe today the kids aren't interested in that kind of experience, but maybe they haven't experienced it. What happens if they had? So if they did, they might actually, and as you said the other day, vinyls have made a comeback, not in the same scale as they used to, which is the only medium available, but it's come back in terms of people do enjoy that kind of experience and getting enjoyment from doing that.
While I was dealing with these vinyls, I seem to have dipped my toes into a completely different world of those people, the collectors and the people who know the vendors, and there's this world that exists parallel to everybody else, obviously. But it seems to be this very beautiful world where they appreciate the uniqueness of vinyls. And the more unique the edition, the pressing is, the more respect it has. And obviously, more they're willing to pay more money for it. But what I actually realize is that because our children nowadays, the youngsters, they have no idea, they've lost that. Unless they are the child of one of those collectors who spends their days, free time, as a hobby, collecting, looking at, cleaning, appreciating, discussing, maybe researching their vinyl, the history of their vinyls or the artists. Unless you're a child of one of those people, the children are completely unaware of what this vinyl thing is. And they're missing out on this amazing time to connect with their parents, with their older siblings, over this very beautiful experience of the vinyl, listening to music. So I listed 3 vinyls which were children's vinyls, and I know they were from the 60s, and they sound a bit different to what children nowadays are used to listening to. But anyway, there were nursery rhymes and kids' favorite songs, and then there's a story about Scooby Doo. How can children get used to handling vinyls if the collectors have their special vinyls that they don't want to have any scratches on, they don't want the cardboard on the cover to be ripped or damaged in any way, or the inner sleeve? And so start with the children, start with these scratched ones that some other child used before. They're still working fine, and they're just getting used to handling vinyls and appreciating the sound that comes out of them and the actual vinyl itself. And be mindful listening.
Instead of colouring, maybe listening to a vinyl.
Because when you have the vinyl there, you seem to be more keen on listening to the words,
More connected to it.
more connected to it. So you want to know what they say. It's a little bit more difficult because I had to explain to my family yesterday that if you wanted to start again the song, you need to lift the stylus and put it back at the beginning. Oh, that's a bit tricky, isn't it? So because we might scratch the. So it's a lot of skills. It's a lot of skills involved in handling vinyl. So this is how children can get involved in with some old vinyls.
So really, the point of this is that there was a job that needed doing about vinyls. You had a load of overwhelm, which raised the situation of, well, why am I getting this overwhelm? And then a bit of self-analysis about what actually is going on behind the scenes. And then a resolution of a family issue, which is brought around, which has brought people closer together, really, and solved some other problems because you've had this experience, which has brought the whole thing back together. It's amazing that, like you said with the garden, will you help me with my allotment if I get one? Right, led to a whole series of stuff. And this way, if I bring these vinyls over, can you clean them up? Another whole load of things, right? Just 2 simple sentences which expanded into learning and enjoyment and solving problems, and amazing. Anyway,
so what really is the matter? It's not really what really is the matter. It's what's hidden behind it. So
I mean,
dig in.
it was basically egos and
The
self-love.
clash of the egos.
And self-love, doubting yourself all the while instead of being happy with what you've conjured up, if you like. Hope you enjoyed
Right.
that little self-analysis.
Yeah, that was our duologue episode 6. So if you liked it, please do subscribe, hit the bell, because you're going to be then notified when we post another one of those conversations. And thank you for watching till the end. I hope you enjoyed it.
Bye for now.
Bye.